It's a Western, but perhaps not as you know it. Emily Blunt leads the cast in this excellent new co-production between the BBC and Prime Video. Let's find out about the English.
I'll tell you a story. Mine's about revenge. Can't help but think yours is too.
Hello and welcome to Screen OD, the channel for people who love TV, movies and streaming. My name's Tim. I'm an editor and a journalist who's been writing and talking about the TV industry for more than 15 years. And today we have another of those sumptuous looking co-productions between a streamer and the BBC. Now, obviously the BBC has been the home of drama in the UK for, well, 100 years now across radio and television. But of course, adding in the money that comes from the streaming giants brings in some of the biggest names, and today we have one of the biggest names, Emily Blunt, starring in the English, which if you like westerns and you like intriguing tales, this is certainly one for you.
I've lived here my whole life. I've seen hell and I've made hell.
So long, Sergeant. Just you remember, in there you've been one of us, but out here, you're one of them. Not your fight. Don't pick it.
Okay, so what's this one all about? Well, it's the 1890s and we are in the Old West. We are introduced to Eli Whip, who is a Pawnee native who has fought with the US cavalry as they have taken land against Native Americans. Therefore, he is someone who's seen as being an enemy in many ways by many of the Native Americans who he fought against, but also still isn't trusted by many of the US forces who he has fought with. Now, he is on a mission to go and claim the land in Nebraska that he was promised for the fighting. However, he's been told, and it becomes clear quite quickly, that perhaps this isn't going to be as straightforward as he thought, and perhaps that isn't something that's going to be honoured. Also, along the way, there are many people who are suspicious of him and are going to try to do their best to stop him in his tracks.
It was like magic. Only this afternoon, you were tied up there. I was lying down over there. Both about to get killed, and yet here we are. And it's everyone else that's dead.
Enter Lady Cornelia Locke. Now, she has arrived from England to Kansas to try to find the man who she believes is responsible for the death of her son. Now, she stumbles upon the torture of Eli Whip by a Mr. Watts in this rural area of Kansas. Now, she tries to stop this, and for various reasons, we don't want to get into too much plot points here, she isn't able to. But eventually, her and Eli manage to escape from the situation. And suddenly, we have two people in the middle of nowhere who are both on missions, both of which seem quite improbable, with quite a lot of people against them and trying to stop them. And you got yourself a setup for an excellent story in a beautiful setting. This is a Western, but not perhaps as you might normally know it.
Someone killed my child, and now I'm gonna kill him. Will you help me?
Can you shoot?
I have to.
Oh, you'll have to.
What we see next is a beautifully crafted piece of television as two unlikely people with very different backgrounds, but also connected and intertwined stories, those of loss, of harrowing pasts, come together. They're held together by a need to try and survive, but also they are both on a journey to try and right wrongs. And along the way, they meet lots of people who remind them of many of those wrongs and remind us as an audience of many of the things that have gone on in the past and the price that people and peoples have paid.
Not quite the woman I expected.
You're everything I'd expect of a man.
Now, with a show that relies so much on two central characters and the relationship between them and their relationship with a world that often seems hostile around them, you need to have fantastic central performances, and that is something you do not need to worry about at all. Emily Blunt, I can report, is as always exceptional in this. This is a nuanced performance, one that brings depth and energy from different areas as she goes through the story.
There's just something about this country. I sometimes wonder if there's horror in us all.
Now, I think the most impressive performance in the show comes from Chaske Spencer, who plays Eli Whip, because there's very little dialogue from him compared to most of the other characters. This is a performance that relies on the way that he has presence on screen, the way that he looks, the way that he acts, and the relationships that he can build quietly with those people in the show. Now, you could easily be lost in such an expansive environment as the West, in a show that has so much depth to it without having lots of lines. But that isn't a problem at all for Chaske Spencer. He delivers a fantastic performance, a captivating performance on screen. Written and directed by Hugo Blick, this is a beautiful and well-crafted piece of television that is paced to perfection. It takes a lot of the Old West, the Western themes, and it takes them to a new place. And as a viewer, you go on a journey through a plot that has twists and turns, but at no point do you feel that you are lost in the story. If you're looking for a new drama that is visually arresting, that is brilliantly acted, and will make you think about a lot of things, and there's a lot of themes that are touched upon in this show, then the English is certainly something I think you should give a go. As is becoming much more common in the TV market these days, this one is a co-production on this occasion between the BBC in the UK and Prime Video, which means that it's available if you are in the UK, where I'm sitting right now, on BBC Two, which is the terrestrial channel you can watch it on, or you'll be able to watch it on BBC iPlayer if you are someone who prefers to stream. Now, I know there's a lot of Screen OD viewers who are out in the US, Australia, Canada, and lots of other places around the world. You're all very welcome. Hello, and if you haven't subscribed yet, do remember to subscribe. But if you are outside the UK, you should be able to watch the English right now on Prime Video, which is the new name for Amazon Prime Video, as it used to be called, which is Amazon's streaming service. If you haven't tried it before, it is available for a 30-day trial, and you can find a link in the description below to find out how to try out Prime Video and try out the English. Right, that's it. Thanks so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the review. If you did, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to Screen OD for all the best content direct to your feed. We'll see you again very soon.